Minimize all distractions. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna and I am a two-time self-published author of the King High series. And today's video is going to be about how to have a productive writing session. So let's get to it. Before you do anything else, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure your writing space is clean. So whether it's your desk or your couch, make sure the area that you're about to be working in is clean and free of clutter, because I like to think that if your space is cluttered, your mind is also cluttered. And say you have a lot on your desk, it's going to be easier for you to get distracted. So you want to prevent that early on by making sure everything is out of the way if you don't need it. Okay, and once all the clutter is cleared out, make sure you have everything that you do need for a productive writing session. So a few things that I like to have on my desk always when I'm writing is a notebook and a pen, because sometimes you'll be working on a scene and then the idea for another scene will come to you, and then this way, if you have like a notebook or some place to jot your ideas down, you won't have to stop what you're doing for a really long time. This will help you keep track of any ideas that might come to you while you're writing if you don't want to stop at that particular moment. So I always try to keep a notebook handy. And also, before I start my writing sessions, I try to review any previous notes that I had, just in case that sparks a new idea or a new direction. Having a notebook close by also helps me decide what I want to focus on for that particular writing session. Another thing I also like having close by is a beverage. Usually it's water or iced coffee, depending on how I'm feeling. You're gonna wanna make sure you stay hydrated, because when you're not hydrated, your brain don't work as good as it will when you hydrated. So make sure you have something. And if you don't have water or anything before you start your writing session, if you get thirsty, you're gonna end up getting up and interrupting your flow because you're thirsty, and we don't want to do that. And sometimes I even like to have like snacks on my desk too, because sometimes you get a little hungry. And also, if you wear glasses, please put them on for your writing session, because I can't tell you how many times I've had a really long writing session, maybe like 2 hours or more, and then afterwards I'm like, dang, my eyes just really hurt. I probably should have worn my glasses. So if you wear them, make sure you wear them for your writing session. I also like to light candles whenever I'm starting a writing session, because I feel like it really just helps set the mood. Because sometimes writing can be really stressful, and I always feel like candles help calm me down. And this time my choice of fragrance is the Vanilla Bean Noel, and it's from Lit by Lean from Forest City, Arkansas. Support her, check her out. All her fragrances are really good. Get some of those. Another thing I like doing is making sure all my devices are on Do Not Disturb whenever I'm writing. In particular, I like to make sure my laptop is on Do Not Disturb, because I don't feel like text messages always disturb me, but if I'm having notifications constantly pop up on my computer, that can really get distracting. So that's one thing I always try to make sure to do. And another thing I like to add to my writing sessions is music. I don't always use music when I'm writing, but sometimes I feel like music really helps you get into a scene. So one thing I do is I create a playlist that's like generally for my writing sessions, and then I also have another playlist that is specific to whatever book I'm working on. So this one is called Kindle and Damar, because the third book that I just finished up is about a girl named Kendall and her boyfriend Damar. So I just titled it their name, and the songs that I have on this playlist are songs that remind me of them, or that just put me in the overall mood of the story. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is open up your manuscript. So some people like to write on the computer, which is what I prefer, and some people like to write by hand, which I do not prefer because my hands be hurting. So I typically use Microsoft Word. So once you get that open it up to the last place you remember writing, or open it up to wherever you have predetermined that you're going to spend most of your time during your writing session, and get ready to write. And the last thing I do before a productive writing session is set a timer. I don't like to work for long chunks of time unless I'm just really into it. And especially on days where I don't really feel like writing, I'll set a short timer so I can just kind of get the momentum going. And I usually find once I start small that it's easy for me to work for longer periods of time, because when you first start writing and you think about having a 1 hour writing session, that can get overwhelming, and then it might even discourage you from writing altogether. So sometimes I like setting 10-minute timers or 15-minute timers just to kind of see how many words I can push out in that amount of time. And usually after that session is over, I'll take like a 5-10 minute break and do it all over again and increase the time as I feel my energy start to rise, because that way I know I have a really productive writing session, because writing is hard. One thing to remember though is that your writing sessions don't have to be long at all. As long as you get something down on a page for that day, I'll consider that a productive writing session, whether it's 1 word or 1,000 words. Writing is hard, and be nice to yourself, especially in 2020. I hope the tips that I gave you all in this video were useful. And if you found any of them particularly useful, please comment down below. And if you have any particular writing strategies that you use yourself, also comment them down below, because I would love to hear them. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'll see y'all tomorrow on the next Vlogmas Day video. Take care. Bye-bye.